You're in line at the gate. The air smells faintly of coffee and disinfectant. The gate display blinks your flight number, and your stomach tightens at the sight of a crowded overhead bin. You can hear the flight attendant's voice, calm, practiced, while around you someone struggles to stuff a bag in above their seat. You notice a crew member glide by with a clipboard and a smile that doesn't quite reach their eyes. That familiar buzz, the folding metal of a trolley, the rhythmic ding when the seatbelt sign clicks on, all of this lands on you like a small, steady pressure. You want to be safe, not swindled, and you want to get on board without drama.
If your flight happens to be canceled or delayed, Compensair will help you get compensation for the inconvenience and get your money back without wasting time on red tape. Get a refund for your canceled flight right.
Start with 3 things before you even leave home. 1. Measure and weigh your bags. 2. Screenshot or print the airline's carry-on and checked bag policy for your exact fare. 3. Check in early and save the boarding pass to your phone and email a copy to yourself. Measuring is the most overlooked step. A soft-sided duffel that looks small can expand in the bin or be rejected at the gate if dimensions don't match the airline's framed limit. Weighing matters because a 5,10 kilograms, 10,22 pounds excess on a checked bag can suddenly turn a $30 booking into a $120 surprise fee at the counter. At the airport, do these checks. At curbside or the drop desk, open your bag and make sure your liquids are together and accessible for security. At the scale, watch the number and step off before the agent writes it down. And at the gate, confirm with the agent whether overhead space is being prioritized by boarding group or aircraft door. Different planes and crews manage it differently. If they say, "It's full," and you still have space to squeeze a small bag into the bin, be careful. The crew might be saving space for priority bags or later boarding passengers who paid for extras. Why do crews say some things and not others? Think of a flight like a small restaurant kitchen with only a handful of cooks. Each cook knows which dishes take the stove and which can wait. They don't list every shortcut to a patron because it could create chaos if everyone tried it at once. Flight attendants are balancing safety, time, customer expectations, and airline policy. Their secrets are often practical shortcuts, trade-offs, or hard truths they've learned that you don't need or aren't allowed to use, but knowing them quietly can save you stress. Here are the 12 things attendants often won't tell you, explained plainly, and what to do about each. 1. Overhead bin space is allocated more by boarding group and policy than fairness. If you're in the last group, plan to check the bag or choose a smaller carry-on. Cost. Gate checking a bag can be free on some airlines or $20, $60 on others. Lost bag risk is low, but delays can be 30, 120 minutes at arrival. 2. A seat's extra legroom sometimes depends on whether a flight is full, not the type you paid for. If the cabin fills, crew may block movable armrests or ask people to scoot. Practical step. Check in early and ask the gate agent 5 minutes after boarding starts. They can sometimes move people if seats are available. 3. Turbulence is routinely exaggerated in announcements to keep passengers alert. The real rating uses scientific data and the cockpit. If the sign is on, follow it. Personal tip: secure loose items and keep your seatbelt fastened loosely during cruise. Worst case, serious turbulence can cause injury if unbelted. Risk drops to near zero if you buckle up. 4. Cabin air is not stagnant, but recycled and filtered. The real issue is close proximity. Don't rely solely on masks for comfort. Hydrate and avoid alcohol-heavy flights if you're nervous. Health cost: minor dehydration or sinus pressure, unlikely infection if otherwise healthy. 5. Flight attendants sometimes undersell upgrades to avoid awkward gate conflicts. If you want an upgrade, ask clearly at check-in and at the gate. Sometimes last-minute space is available at a reduced rate. Cost range: $30 for short domestic hops to $500 plus on international long-haul, depending on demand. 6. Seat recline can be negotiated. Politely ask your neighbor or the crew. They won't force another passenger into an upright position unless safety or emergency requires it. If the seat blocks exit row access, it could be an issue. 7. Hidden fees hide in optional extras: printing a boarding pass, choosing seats, priority boarding. Always review the fare rules before purchase. Unbundled fares can look cheap, but add $50, $200 when you add baggage and seats. Practical tip: do the math on the airline's official site before completing a booking on an aggregator. 8. Gate agents can sometimes waive fees for a genuine mistake if you're calm and courteous and the flight has room. Aggressive or emotional complaints reduce your chances. Worst case, refusing to pay can result in denied boarding on that ticket.
The lavatory will be locked on the ground sometimes for safety or staffing reasons. The crew won't always explain the specific reason. If you're stuck needing it, seek a staff restroom in the terminal before boarding. That special meal you ordered may not reach you if the flight is short or a catering switch happened. Bring a compact snack if food is important. Cost: buying on board can be $5, $15 domestically, $10, $30 internationally. The upgrade auction or bidding system the airline uses can be manipulated by booking platforms to show inflated demand. Always check the airline's own upgrade offer before bidding through third parties. A bad bid wastes your cash, but usually won't affect the flight. Crew sometimes move passengers to manage weight and balance for smaller aircraft. The logic is safety, not rudeness. If you're moved, ask why. If it affects a connection, ask the crew to note it in writing or take a photo of the gate display and your revised boarding pass. Many useful links can be found in the description. Let's unpack one of these with a real example so you understand the consequences and the best fix. Overhead bins. Crews decide to gate check bags when boarding time is tight or when a flight is full, and then they place a sticker on your bag. If you accept gate checking, the bag will usually be returned to the jet bridge after landing or to baggage claim. Cost range. Many U.S. domestic airlines now gate check for free. Legacy international airlines sometimes charge $25, $75, particularly for oversized bags. Missed flight risk. Low. A gate-checked bag won't keep you from boarding, but if you argue, you can delay the door closing and risk missing the flight. Practical, cheapest fix. Buy a compliant small roller or soft duffel, or wear heavier items on the plane and pack the rest in your personal item. Here's an everyday analogy for why rules look confusing. Imagine theater ushers trying to seat a packed house while 8 actors keep moving doors backstage. The ushers have to be firm about aisles, exits, and who sits where for safety. Telling the audience every nuance of crowd control would create chaos. They tell what keeps everyone safe and efficient. Flight attendants are your ushers for 40,000 feet. Now, one specific misleading claim to watch for: free checked bag with this card, promotions.
The card company often requires advance online check-in or the ticket to be bought on a specific fare class. If you bought a third-party ticket or if you used points, the airline might deny the benefit and the card company will not reimburse airline charges. How to refuse it? Before you hand over payment at the counter, ask plainly, "Is my checked bag free on this exact fare?" If the agent says yes, ask them to confirm it on the receipt. If they say no, decline the add-on and check other options. Prepay in the app, usually cheaper, or move items into a free personal item. Another common trick. Booking sites sometimes remove baggage and seat fees until checkout to lure you in. Always click through the site's fare rules or go to the airline's official site and enter the same itinerary. Compare final totals before paying. If a third-party price is lower but then forces you to a pricey baggage fee on payment, cancel within their free window and book direct. Practical checklist in one paragraph. Measure and weigh bags at home. Screenshot the airline's baggage limits. Check in early. Save boarding passes to your phone. Bring a small, sealed toiletry kit and an insulated layer. Pack prescriptions in your carry-on. Photo document your checked bag before handing it over. And stay calm at the gate. Kindness gets you farther than loud complaints. If you're worried about a misconnection because a bag is held, accept a gate check tag if it avoids a fight. Take essential items in your personal bag. If cost is the problem, prepay baggage online where possible. It's usually the cheapest at $15, $45 versus $25, $100 at the airport. If safety is the worry, ask the crew for a brief explanation. Their answers are usually about balance, evacuation rules, or security directives. One last hidden upsell to reject. At the gate, you might be offered a priority boarding for a small fee that's simply a way to sell overhead bin space. If your bag fits a guaranteed personal item and you can sit in a non-extra legroom seat, skip the upsell. Say, "No thanks, I only need a personal item," and show the agent you can stow it under the seat if asked. If a crew member gives you a tip that feels like a favor, for example, letting a larger bag through or moving you after the doors close, remember that these are discretionary and can change per flight. Don't expect every crew to do the same. Use what you learn, but plan for the rule instead of hoping for the exception. You can make flying less stressful by preparing, measuring, and asking the right questions politely. The cheapest, safest approach is the one that reduces surprises. Small carry-on plus personal item, screenshots of policies, early check-in, polite gate interactions, and pre-purchased baggage if you know you'll need it. If any of these tips helped you feel less nervous, hit subscribe and like so I can make more practical videos for people who fly rarely or are flying for the first time. Safe travels.